we're talking about plastic.
Yes, it's our addiction to plastic that's of concern because this material doesn't decay very quickly. So once we've used it, it hangs around for a very long time.
It is a problem, and decay, by the way, describes the natural process of something being destroyed or breaking down into small particles. We hear so much about the consequences of having too much waste plastic around, don't we?
Indeed, not only does it cause a mess, wildlife, particularly marine animals, are at risk when they become entangled in plastic waste or ingest it. It's an issue that needs tackling or dealing with, and that's what we'll be discussing today and finding out what can be done to solve this plastic crisis.
Okay, first, let's challenge you to answer a question about plastic, Rob. The first synthetic plastic, that's plastic made entirely from man-made materials, was created over 100 years ago. Do you know what its brand name was? Was it A, Bakelite, B, Lucite, or C, Formica?
I'm no expert, so I'll say C for mica.
Well, we'll reveal the answer at the end of the program. Now let's talk more about plastic. This man-made substance is everywhere, from clothing to crisp packets and bottles to buckets.
But the problem is that most of it isn't biodegradable. That's a word that describes something that can decay naturally without harming anything. Each year, 400 million tons of plastic is produced, and 40% of that is single-use. So, why don't we stop using it?
It's not that easy, Rob, and it's something Lucy Siegel, a BBC reporter and author, has been talking about. She was speaking in a discussion on the Costing the Earth programme on BBC Radio 4 and explained the issue we have with quitting plastic, but also how our attitude is changing.
We have this weird psychological attachment to this material that's been around, and it's like a push and pull. At the one time, we're so horrified by what we're seeing, the whales dying, the oceans vomiting plastic, beaming in from all over the world, and at the same time, we're being told we can't live without it. So that creates a sort of psychological dissonance, which I think is the barrier to behavioural change. But I'm finding now awareness has peaked, and now it's going over into activism.
She mentioned the word psychological. That's something that affects or involves our mind. So here, psychological attachment means that in our mind, we feel we have to use plastic. We're addicted.
But we also see the negative impact of plastic, like whales dying. And in our mind, we're also thinking we must stop. This has created what Lucy says is a psychological dissonance. Dissonance means a disagreement between two opposing ideas. So we're having an argument in our head about the right thing to do. This is the push and pull of